Hello all, welcome to the new video. Here in this particular video, we are going to discuss about Docker security. Some basics, okay? Like what exactly the container image and its associated vulnerabilities, and what is Docker host and container like Docker host breakout and container breakout. And then secrets and default security settings need to be enabled, and insecure networking and volumes, and resource usage abuse. What exactly is that? Logging, monitoring, and some best practices. We are going to completely cover all these pointers, and without further ado, let's enter into the video. And also we are going to see the WAPs top 10 also. Okay, so that is some I will discuss about that also. Okay, moving to the Docker security. Okay, basically you may think why the security matters. Okay, so we'll discuss about that, why the security matters. First of all, let's discuss like what exactly the Docker does. Okay, Docker basically it packages the lightweight, I mean our application into a lightweight containers. Okay, and then it is like shipping containers for software, and it will runs the same everywhere, and it is popular in modern development. Okay, so obviously if it is popular, there might be some security considerations need to be done, right? So this this is, I mean, that is where the security came into picture. Container shares the host system. Okay, so whenever you are sharing the like host system to a container, okay, so at the time it is very much important, and bad containers can escape from the container and talk to the host and modify host, perform the actions in the host mission. That is why the security is important. Obviously one breach can affect the everything. So WAP's top Docker top 10 especially helps to stay safe. Okay, and as we all know, like it is just a kind of analogy, or just for our understanding purpose I am saying. Basically in traditional application where it will be very slow to set up, and the application will be heavy, and in Docker containers it is lightweight and portable, so that's why it is more popular. Okay, so it is just a kind of understanding for our purpose why the Docker containers will be like more used. And then, I mean, first the functionality, later only the security will come into picture, right? So that is where the container come into picture, and then the security also matters here now. Okay, and here we are going to discuss about container images and vulnerabilities. Before that, better to have a kind of understanding on OAP's top 10. Then you will get a clearly understanding of further slides also what exactly we are discussing. Okay, so if you see here, one moment. Yeah, this is the list of WAP's top 10. Okay, so here WAP's number, which is D01 for, I mean D in the sense Docker. Okay, WAP's Docker top one, this one. Okay, and this one, what exactly the control of this? Secure user mapping, and D02 patch management strategy, D03 network segmentation and firewalling need to be done, D04 secure defaults and hardening, D05 maintain security contexts, D06 protect secrets, D07 resource protection, D08 container image integrity and origin, D09 follow immutable paradigm, D0 D10, which is logging. These are the OAP's top 10. Like with the name itself, you got certain idea like what exactly that vulnerability was. Okay, so now let's go back and discuss our like what exactly we are discussing. If you see here, we are discussing about container images and its associated vulnerabilities. So obviously if it is bad image, then security will be, I mean, there will be a lot of bad actions will be done. Okay, so that is the meaning here, security nightmares. And basically, image problems has these many problems. Image has these many problems, like top known problems we are going to discuss. Okay, which is untrusted resource. We are getting the image from random resource or some internet. Okay, and some there might be some images with hidden malwares and backdoors. We need to be careful. Okay, that is one of the problem with images. And there will be a bloated images with unnecessary tools. Bloated in the sense, some big size images. There will be a lot of unnecessary tools or some like packages which is actually not required to run that particular thing. Okay, so in that case also it is a problem for your image. And the best practice was use a official image from Docker Hub. That is one of the best practice. And there might be outdated softwares. I mean, these are the different like points regarding the outdated softwares. There might be old versions which is having a known security vulnerabilities or holes. Okay, attackers may target these particular weaknesses and may attack you. And whenever we are using the images, we need to make sure to scan the images. Okay, this is the one of the best practice. Use the official image and scan the images before using them, and update the images regularly, and use a minimal base image for decreasing the size. Okay, so that is the one of the um, like you need to be considered here. Okay, and different top vulnerabilities within the container images. Okay, or Docker images we can say. Okay, and if you see here, always scan your images and keep them updated. That is the point we have already here we have discussed. And then if you see here, there is a one scale which starts from here to ends here. Okay, so basically what it means, whenever you are scanning the image, there will be a severity of vulnerability. Okay, so whatever the finding, let's say if you scanned the Docker image with the help of Trivi, it found a vulnerability. I mean, there is a 1 to 10 with the from 1 to 10 scale. There will be a segregation of vulnerabilities based upon the severity. If it is here, it will be moderate. If it is this will be high. If it is this will be low. Like this it will be there. Okay, so always make sure it should be falls under this particular category. Okay, then only you are going to uh, like, let's say if you are in a pipeline, you are going to build that particular pipeline and deploy the software. Otherwise you need to fail the pipeline. Likewise you need to consider here. Okay, so this is a like a good, and this is very bad. Okay, and very critical. Okay, and coming to the next slide, we are going to discuss about Docker host breakout and container breakout. Okay, what exactly is this mean? When containers escape their case, in the sense, let's say if you run a container, and like based on the configurations that have for the container, it was able to talk to outside the container also. That means your host machine or another container. That is the problem here. That is what exactly breaking out of container. Okay, so if you see here, uh, this is the point regarding the insecure Docker host, where we need to make sure uh, sorry, these are the pointers, like flaws in that, and these are the pointers we need to consider. Okay, so insecure Docker host if we talk about this, there might be a unpatched host operating system, and there might be a Docker daemon exposed to a internet. This is also one of the insecure Docker host, and weak access controls. So this is also one of the insecure Docker host. And coming to the like kind of remediations, we need to make sure to keep the OS up to date, host OS up to date, and we need to make sure to secure the Docker daemon, to not to expose it to the internet directly. That is the points to be considered here. And coming to the container breakouts, containers running as root user, this is the example for container breakout. And privileged mode enabled, this is the like remediation regarding that. And shared kernel sorry shared sorry let me explain this particular something more deeper. Privileged mode in the sense, whenever you are running the particular container itself, we can specify that particular container like have what permissions. They can read only or write, or like what exactly we can attach. That is basically privileged mode enabling. Okay. And shared kernel vulnerabilities, use non-root user, avoid privileged mode. Okay, so these are the like containers running as root user. Yeah, these are the like pointers. Sorry, these are the pointers that need to be followed as a security best practice. Okay, and whenever you don't follow this, obviously container will run as a root user and gain the access of the host machine. Okay, and container escape, how exactly it then was, I mean, whenever we have a bad container, it compromises the host machine, and then obviously it will get a full access, then the game is over. Okay, so that is the very important one, where secure user mapping is required. So if you see the Docker OAuth top 10 also, that is the D01, which is Docker top 1. Okay, and secret and default security settings, basically uh, it means don't leave the door wide open. Okay, so secret management, these are the pointers need to be as a security best practices you need to be followed whenever you are managing with the secrets. Okay, passwords hardened in image. Okay, and API keys in environment variables, database credentials exposed. So these are like not a security best practices, secret best practices. These are like what is the uh, I mean things not to be followed. Okay, so use Docker secrets. These are the things need to be followed. Okay, never put secrets in the code. Um, these are the like pointers which is uh, bad secret management. So for that, against that, we need to follow this. Okay, and moving to the next, default security settings, like you need to make sure uh, we need to make sure to follow certain steps. Okay, make sure a default unchanged, sorry, passwords unchanged. This is the one of the um, security flaw or mistake we are doing. And unnecessary port exposure, we're not supposed to be done. And weak security configurations, okay, we're not to be done. We need to make sure we need to have a strong security configurations, and change all defaults. Okay, and follow principle of least privileges, we can say, or back sorry, role based access controls. Okay, so it is just like admin password is not a good secret. Okay, treat the secrets like your own wallet, where you obviously keep it safe and out of sight to others, right? So likewise you need to maintain. Okay. And insecure networking and volumes, basically there might be I mean, whenever we talk about insecure networking, it is like all ports exposed to internet. It is one of the insecure networking. There is no proper network segmentation. This is also insecure networking. Unencrypted communication. Here we need to achieve by use a custom networks, expose only necessary ports. Okay. And coming to the insecure volumes, here also mounting sensitive host directories to a container, it is also like not a bad good practice, it is a bad practice, which is insecure volume mapping is done. And write access to the host file, this is also one of the practice. And shared volumes between containers, it is also not to be done. Okay. And read only mounts whenever it is possible, this need to be done. And limit the volume access. Okay. So these are like some things need to be considered uh, to work against this. Okay, here also same. Okay, so these are the pointers and these are the things not to, it is not good. Okay. And let's say if the container exposes in port to the internet to the port 2022, which is SSH and HTTP 80 HTTPS 443, where it can be, I mean, host files will be accessible. Okay. And there will be a direct access from the internet, okay, to the container to host files. Okay. So that is how here it works. So network and volume mapping is need to be securely mapped. And resource usage abuse, when containers become resource hogs, basically resource hogs in the sense, let's say if one container uh, using entire your CPU, I mean process and storage everything, so it is kind of bad practice. Okay. So we need to make sure, I mean, whenever resource hogging is done, obviously there will be a no CPU or memory limits set. Okay. And one container crashes the host, obviously it will crashes the host. This is also one of the bad thing. And DOS attacks through the resource exhaustion, what that is what exactly it happens whenever DOS attack it happens, it will eat entire resources. Okay. And always good to follow setup resource limits. Okay. And I mean, this is the like best practice to set up a resource limit. And this is the command hyphen memory, I mean 512 MB you are giving the storage, and one CPU you are allocating to that particular container. Okay. From the host, these are the host mission resources. Okay. And then monitor the resource usage, this is also one of the practice you need to be followed. And coming to the common problems, memory leaks in the application, there might be a infinite loop consuming CPU, and fork bombs creating a process. And then we need to be overcome by using Docker resource containers and implement health checks. I think this will be the same indicating to these pointers. Okay. And if, I mean, think of it like if there is no system limits, obviously the system will crash. Okay. And with limits the system will stable. And if it exceeds the limit, then obviously it cannot perform the in such a way, right? The limit itself the this, and it cannot go and exceed the limit. Okay. So that is the practice. And coming to the logging, monitoring, and some best practices. So whenever you are working with security, obviously a logging and monitoring need to be checked, where we need to enable a comprehensive logging mechanism, and we need to monitor a container behavior, and we need to set up a security alerts if like CPU or memory utilization is high, or kind of any security vulnerabilities, okay, like that. And let's say if vulnerability high vulnerability found, we need to alert that, okay. And regular security audits will need to be done. This is also one of the logging and monitoring best practice. And these are the some quick security checklist. We need to make sure use a trusted image, updated images only, and run as non-root user, okay, whenever you are running, I mean creating a Docker file. Make sure to create a new user and then assign that user whenever you are running that particular application, okay. Set the resource limits, okay, like CPU, memory, we just seen just now, okay. And secure secrets properly, okay. Secret management need to be handled properly. Monitor everything, that means logging and monitoring need to be enabled, okay. And finally, security is not a destination, it's obviously a journey. So, um, yeah, that's it. I think we are good to conclude. And stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching the video. And yeah, happy learning.